So this is a tractor that there's not a whole lot left of, as you can see. This was a 43, 44H, something like that. Obviously, it's not really anymore. I bought this tractor for parts for my Super H. There was a lot of good stuff on this tractor. We needed a radiator for the Super H. The one in the Super H has been out of alignment with the steering shaft, and it's rubbed through the top of this passage through the radiator, which I'm sure is fixable, but this radiator is almost perfect. So makes more sense just to swap it out. We need this light bar that goes across, because the one on the Super H is all welded up on this side where they've got that hydraulic valve right there. It just kind of is mutilated, the original one. It's much easier just to find another one. So this is a gas tractor, as noted by the X1. And that's why there's a giant hole right here. So my Super H, the engine was rebuilt in the 80s. And they, without the internet, it was a little harder to find parts. They could not source a correct engine for the Super H because the block was cracked. And so they went to a junkyard and grabbed whatever motor they could get and slapped it in and went. And, they went through and fully rebuilt it, But when they did that, they didn't use the Super H head. They used I think the serial number on the motor is like a 42 or 43, but it's a kerosene head. And so the engine has lackluster performance at best, has no compression. And so this tractor had a very good running motor, but it needed all 4 tires. The rear end's screwed up. It's got excessive hours on it. If you saw my shifter repair video, this is the one we did the repair on the shifter. It could get into multiple gears at once. Rear end randomly would lock up on it. The brakes are shot. The seats tore up. This tractor was a major basket case, other than it ran like a Swiss watch. So what we're gonna do is we took the engine out of this. I sold the short block to a kid who was working on his grandpa's H, and it had thrown a rod. And so he took the short block and is going to use the short block out of this to save his grandpa's H. And so he has his family heirloom tractor. And I'm going to take the head, which is a gas head, and put it on my good short block. And hopefully we can make it run like an actual H, because currently it won't even pull a 2-bottom plow. It'll just barely pull a 2-bottom plow in first gear. It just is so gutless. So we're going to put a head on it, but we may also pull the timing cover. I kind of wonder if the cam is out of time. That would make more sense to why it's so gutless than just low compression, because I know the motor has dome pistons in it. I bore scoped it to see what it looked like. So it really doesn't make any sense to me why it runs as badly as it does, unless something is just wrong. So we're going to dig into that at some point this winter. But right now we're going to work on taking the steering post off, and we're going to this light post off, and we're going to start working towards getting this thing ready to send to the crusher. I've sold a lot of parts off of this thing. I'm probably going to pull a lot more off of it, and I don't know what of it I'm actually going to scrap. I may not scrap any of it yet. I'm definitely gonna try to sell some more stuff off of it, just because I hate parting out tractors. I don't like doing it. That means there's one less in existence, but sometimes it financially doesn't make sense for me to pay $200 or $300 for a head when I could buy a whole tractor for $500 and sell $500 to $1,000 worth of parts off of it and keep the head. Which is what happened with that 560 back there. Not financially viable to fix that 560 when I got it. But it's gone on to make about 6 or 8 560s complete tractors now, where they're not missing any sheet metal. They're not, shifters that were tore up, just random stuff that it would cost a fortune to try to fix without a parts tractor. And you can't always have a parts tractor. You don't always have the space or the time or the effort, or just be lucky enough to find one that's in bad enough shape to not be warranted to restore it. So sometimes you have to sacrifice one for the good of all. That's kind of the story with this F20 here. This tractor was parked in a barn and left there for at least 60 years that we know of. No one is left alive that remembers it moving. The rear end's locked up. The front rims are completely rotted off of it. The engine's locked up, even though it was inside with the exhaust covered its whole life. The engine's completely locked up. Now, we may try and get this engine running at some point. I've not completely ruled that out because I know it's been covered its whole life. But I did bore scope it, and it is not the greatest inside there. But you never know. We might be able to tear it down, wire brush out the cylinders, and throw it back together. These things would run on baling wire and duct tape. They're really simple motors, and they'd spin no RPM. They make no power. They can't tear themselves up. But there's all kinds of interesting stuff in the toolbox on it. Old tools that have just been left there to rot. For my F20 with the 6-cylinder in it, I needed some of the drive couplers, and I needed the carburetor, for some parts off the carburetor, and something else. I don't remember what. But these have a Zenith K5. A Zenith K5 parts carburetor goes for $200 or $300 sometimes on eBay. And I couldn't find anybody locally that had one just as a rebuildable core. So I bought this tractor literally just for the carburetor and the drive coupler. I did sell the wheels. It had really good steel wheels on it, and it's got some other stuff. It's got, drawbar, and it had a PTO extension on it that I sold too. I took the seat assembly off of it for mine because mine had a Super C seat rigged onto it. And actually the fuel tank is really clean on this should I ever decide I need a fuel tank for mine. So, there's still some good stuff for this thing to give, but it's beyond saving. And when I say it's beyond saving, all the linkage for the mag, all the linkage for the throttle, every single piece of everything on this thing is stuck tighter than a drum. You can't imagine, like here, this piece, you're supposed to be able to move this up and down. No, that doesn't rotate in here. It doesn't rotate down there. There's a second one supposed to be right here. I broke it off trying to free it up. The brakes are stuck. The brake levers are stuck. Everything's stuck. The PTO lever's stuck. Like, you could spend years trying to salvage this tractor. But it can save many other tractors because there's a lot of good parts here. I just noticed this while I was standing here talking about this thing. This still has the metal tray that goes right there. I don't know about on F20s, but on M's, the tray that goes under the radiator is never there. So that's a pretty cool little piece to still be there.
So I guess the moral of the story is kind of an all for one for all thing. They can all be saved, but they might not need to be saved. They made 295,000 M's and 320,000 H's, so there's quite a few of them out there still that are nice. Shouldn't be that hard to find one for a decent price that is still semi-functional or completely running, not missing any parts or anything.